Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we are at the Le Mans 24-hour circuit with both chicanes in Group 2 cars. As you can see, most of the cars are the Nissan GT-R. There's a few Mercedes AMGs. And a little disclaimer, this video is going to be kind of all over the place. This first race is very, very hectic and probably one of my worst races I've done in a long time. But yet my second race is very consistent and not a whole lot of mistakes. So, with that being said, let's jump right into it. As you can see, we were starting on pole. Had a pretty good qualifying lap, grinded on that a little bit to get it down. As you will see throughout this video, I am definitely checking the radar to make sure the weather is staying where it should be. That makes no sense, but yeah. Coming into the first few corners, and I just completely bin it. Starting on pole, got on the power way too early, and puts me down all the way into 15th, dead last. And when I say this first race was pretty bad, it was very bad in my opinion. So, not even making it through the first sector, and I'm already down in last place. Looking to gain positions, possibly looking for an overtake there. Not really the best overtaking spot because it's a very high speed right-hander, but the guy did go wide, so I will take that free place. It's also another place to get a penalty very easily with track limits, as you will see later on in the video. But coming down the first straight on the first lap, we are trying to look for an opportunity to overtake. Well, not really a big possibility, but a big snap of oversteer, gotten on the power, again, a little too early. And that's one thing, as you can see, getting a 0.5 second penalty. Not what I was wanting. But going forward, looking ahead, one thing about this race that I did not really like was how easily the cars ghosted. As you could see, looking for a move into this chicane. Looks like maybe gonna pull it off. Hopefully gonna get a good exit. Big group of cars fighting over each other. Looks like we're gonna get a pretty good exit. Looking for a few overtakes coming down this end of this long straight into the hard braking zone into a right-hander. But anyways, going back to the ghosting, it is very heavy on the ghost, as you see. If you go just below what the game thinks you're going, or you should be going, it will put you in a ghost, and it causes a lot of mayhem and confusion between drivers and, you know, so on and so forth. I actually had an incident where I took the corner going pretty fast, looking for a double overtake in the slipstream. Ooh, super close on the apex, getting a little argy-bargy, going just 3 wide. Looking for another overtake, coming into this slow corner. Someone is off. A bunch of penalties. It is all kicking off right now. Looking for another overtake. Little contact. But so far we are making up a pretty good amount of positions from where we, first started. I mean, we were all the way down in last. Now we are in 8th. But yeah, the ghosting is definitely weird with this track, as well as track limits. It's very hard to pinpoint the track limits. A little contact right there, as you can see, with the dirty air with these GTRs, it is very hard to go through this fast last sector and get a good run through it, especially when you're behind someone. Thought I was going to get a track limit penalty, but looks like we weren't able to, or didn't, which is the best, obviously. Coming into the last few chicanes of this lap, running a little wide, trying to take the curb as much as possible, which is what you really want to do to keep the speed up as out of this exit of the last chicane. That's what I meant to say. But we are well within the slipstream of P7. Hopefully we were able to make a move into this corner where I lost it. We're going to go for it. A little bit of a dive bomb. Looks like he's going to do a little bit of a switchback. We're trying to try and get the power down as soon as possible, but unfortunately he was able to get the power down a lot earlier. Again, looking for maybe an overtake into this fast left-hander. Got on the grass just a little bit, running us completely wide, gonna ruin all of this sector, especially this fast right-hander that you have to get dead right to carry the speed all the way down this long back straight, as well as try to get in the slipstream as much as possible to keep the speed up as much as possible. Don't know what I was doing over here. I was all over the place. I think I happened to just look over or something. But anyways, back to where we are within the slipstream. Maybe gonna look for an overtake. Not in the slipstream as much as I really wanted to. Hopefully we can get a good exit out of this first chicane of the two. Not too bad, going a little bit wide on the track limits, and unfortunately that is going to cause us to have a 0.5 second penalty. Again, going back to the track limits, it is very difficult, especially within these fast chicanes, to get the track limits dead on and not overdo it and not get a penalty. But that Mercedes is coming up on our inside, looking for an overtake opportunity. We're gonna chuck it in, hit the apex first, try to power out, but that Mercedes AMG is ridiculous on acceleration and top speed out of this along this back straight with these two chicanes. It is ungodly, and it's very frustrating, I will say so myself. But maybe looking for an opportunity into this heavy braking zone. Again, ghosting is just weird, and as you can see, I'm able to carry the speed a lot more and actually go into the guy in front of me and, you know, gain a lot more time than he did, which is, I mean, I will take it, because if the game's going to give it to me, I will gladly take it. But it's very confusing when it's super fast paced and so on and so forth. Anyways, looking for an overtake into this fast right-hander, but we're going to back out, just spot our braking point. See if we can get a good line, a little pretty decent line. I could have gotten on the power just a little bit earlier, but I was afraid I was gonna side swipe the guy in P7. It looks like it's all gonna be starting to kick off a little bit. The Mercedes got a 1 second penalty, we got a 0.5, and then the other Nissan GTR is just gonna fly by. Hopefully we can stay within the slipstream, but it looks like it's just a little too far away, and now we are well under pressure from the Mercedes behind. As you can see, he's closing that gap super fast with that top speed, going wide again, but not wide enough to get a penalty, so that is good. The GTR is definitely the best car in this last sector, and it feels amazing when you get the racing line hooked up and you can just fly through those corners just so fast, and the car, you just throw the car in and it just sticks and it feels so good. But I wish it was a little bit faster on the straight, but you know, you live, what? I don't know. Anyways, going back to the action, looking for a good exit out of the last chicane, well within the slipstream, possibly going to be looking for a move into turn 1, 2, 3. Not really going to force it, but I am kind of on the charge. I want to get back up into possibly a podium. I know I can get up there. As you can see, I was on pole obviously by a decent amount. I think like 1.5 seconds or so, but I know I'm the fastest man in the lobby. I know I can be there. It's just trying to get through this traffic as soon and as fast as possible. Trying to get a good exit out of here, not trying to run wide, but with that dirty air from the GTR in front, definitely ran wide, which is definitely going to give us a 0.5 second penalty. Jumping forward a little bit down the straight, getting a good exit out of the first chicane, well within the slipstream. Possibly looking for another overtake into the second chicane, but with that 0.5 second penalty over our head, it's going to be very difficult. I'm going to pull out, carry the speed, spot our braking point right before the last braking board right there, and just throw it in, get into the apex first, take a nice corner through here, going a little bit wide, a little bit on the track limits. I believe it was able to give us another 0.5 second penalty. Yes, it was. Just a few pixels off the over the line, and unfortunately that's just how the game is, and it's frustrating. But looking for a decent exit out of this heavy braking zone, but unfortunately we are running wide, which will invite the guy behind well into P6. And it's, again, simple mistakes, easy mistakes, and, you know, just bad racing on my part. But going back to the action, the Mercedes AMG is right up my chuff. He is going to pull out, looking for an overtake. I'm going to give him space, going to bump drop the guy in 6th, possibly going to look for more overtakes, but again, with that penalty, it's really a hopeless effort. You know, I'm just going to give those positions right back. Getting a pretty decent exit, got our tires on the gravel a little bit, but setting purple sectors after purple sectors, and yeah, I mean, it's just what the way it is. I was pretty frustrated after this race, not the best of times. Jumping forward a little bit, looks like the two guys in front were fighting through that fast S sections, or last sector. We were well within the slipstream, of course, but, you know, don't have slipstream through the chicanes. But possibly going to be looking for an overtake into the first sector, getting a good exit, putting the power down as soon as possible, but yet not overdoing the power and, you know, cooking the rear end and making it spin out. Looking for the inside, which is going to be, my apologies, the outside, which is going to be into the inside. Looks like he backed out a little bit beforehand, which, I mean, I will gladly take it, but as you can see, that Mercedes just takes off in a straight line and is very difficult to keep up with it along the back straight and the main straight. Again, just trying to get a good exit out of this fast corner, trying to get a good line and well within the slipstream. It looks like the guy went wide, which will give him a 0.5 second penalty. Jumping to the second chicane along that back straight, trying to get a good exit out here, trying to stay within the slipstream. Even within the slipstream of that Mercedes is going to pull away, and it's very difficult to keep up with it in a straight line. You have to be right on its rear end to even stand a chance into a braking zone. Again, too far back, not really looking for an overtake, just spot my braking point. And again, see, the ghosting system is just so, I understand why it's there, but it's just so weird, and it takes you off, it like confuses you and so on and so forth. But looking forward, jumping ahead a little bit, not really looking for an overtake, but looks like it is starting to pop off a little bit in front. As you can see, that Mercedes is going to be serving that penalty, and it looks like at least one GTR and maybe two more Mercedes ahead. Hopefully going to be looking for an overtake, and as you can see, actually the guy in 5th, he was in 1st, and there must have been an accident, but we are going 3 wide on the straight into this super fast right-hander. But it looks like we are going to hit the apex, carry the speed, and we are going to be having 2 overtakes in just a short amount of time, with the looks like 2 Mercedes ahead of us. Hopefully we can close up to them into the chicane and maybe look for an opportunity to overtake. But again, with that dirty air, it is just going to push us wide, and we are going to run off the track and unfortunately get another 0.5 second penalty. That is what I believe our 4th or 5th or something like that. Not taking the first chicane very well, or the second, just getting all bent out of shape and not having the best of times. We're going to be jumping forward a little bit to the beginning of the long straight, trying to get a good exit, trying to carry the speed. It looks like we did carry a lot more speed than the Mercedes in front, well within the slipstream. Going to try and maybe look for an overtake into the first chicane, but also try to bump draft him because I want to get up into P3 or go and fight for P3, but again, with that penalty, it is just difficult to do. As you can see, bump drafting, looking for an overtake. He's going to have to brake a lot sooner than I am, and I'm going to sneak it up on the inside. Looking back at it now, I probably should just stay behind him, because with that Mercedes engine in his back, or in the back of that car, it is just going to be a rocket ship, and he's going to overtake me, especially within the slipstream as well. Super easy. As you can tell, just come flying by me like I'm just standing still, like nothing. It is insane how fast that car is on the straight. It's yeah, especially at Le Mans, because those long straights just take forever, and I bend it. Got on the power too early. Again, losing all those positions that I worked so hard to get back, and coming into this heavy braking zone. Again, getting on the power way too early. Big snap of oversteer, losing another position. It is going from bad to worse to even more worse. Serving our penalty all the way down in P9. It looks like there's a car in front of us that served a penalty as well. Hopefully we can maybe make up 1 or 2 more positions before the end of the race, but with it coming into the last sector, it's going to be very difficult because it's very fast, and it's really only one racing line through this sector. Getting a pretty good run, possibly looking for maybe an overtake into the first chicane or 2, but looks like it's really starting to heat up in front. Mercedes is going to be running wide. Looks like he has a 0.5 second penalty. Oh no, sorry, that's the GTR. My apologies. Coming into a heavy braking zone into the first chicane, looking for an overtake, going to shoot up on the inside, push him a little bit wide. It is all kicking off right now. Big contact. Hopefully I'm able to hold on to it. And no, I again got on the power too early and just bend it. Simple mistakes, and it's frustrating. And as you can see, I bend it again. It is, yeah. That was a pretty bad race, coming home in P12 from pole. Probably 4 or 5 seconds worth of penalties, and it's, like I said, probably one of the worst races I've done in a long time. Switching gears to the second race, again starting on pole. Hopefully we can have a lot better race than the one beforehand. Getting a good exit. It looks like the guy behind is in the Mercedes, so he may challenge me into turn 1. Wipers are kicking on. Never mind, they just kicked off. But it looks like he's going to be backing out. Again, not trying to overshoot myself, be on the power as gently as possible, be at as soon as possible. It looks like we were able to make it through that first and second corner a lot better than the last race. Looking to extend the gap as much as possible onto this back straight. That way the Mercedes just doesn't come flying past me. Taking this corner nice and easy, not wanting to overshoot it and get a penalty and just ruin my race from there. Coming onto the back straight for the first time. Again, just trying to stay out of trying to break the slipstream for the guy behind, because obviously he's in the Mercedes. We all know how fast that thing is in the straight line, especially within the slipstream. But it looks like he's going to be gaining on me ever so slightly, but not be able to make a move into this first chicane. Trying to take it nice and easy, get a good exit, get on the power as soon as possible. Did a pretty good job on that exit, but again, looks like he got a little bit of a better exit, well within the slipstream. And unfortunately, there was nothing really I could do because he's just going to come flying past me into this second chicane. I could have defended it a little bit, but I knew it was hopeless. I would rather try to get a better exit and possibly look for an overtake into the heavy braking zone of, I don't know what turn that is, but out of this chicane. Trying to get a decent exit, if I can speak correctly. Not getting the best. As you can see, Mercedes is just pulling away like it's nothing, even though I'm in the slipstream. But hopefully we can not outbrake ourselves into this heavy braking zone, especially within the slipstream. It looks like he got a little bit on the curb and almost spun it with oversteer, but again, I got a pretty good exit, but like I keep saying, that Mercedes is just insane. I mean, the thing just takes off like a rocket ship, and you can't really do anything about it. Hopefully, I'm able to keep up with him to get into a good position in the fast last sector. That's where the GTR definitely shines, definitely shows what it can do. Looks like he ran a little bit wide through that corner. That's going to upset his car. Trying to maybe look for an overtake on the exit. Again, he got on the curbs running wide, and he just smacks into the wall. It is very common for that to happen. You just run a little bit wide, and it sucks. But jumping forward to middle of lap 2, and unfortunately I was pushing a little too hard. Got a 0.5 second penalty, but I was able to extend the gap as much as possible. Jumping forward, serving my penalty here. Coming over the line to start lap 4, set in a purple lap into lap 5. Again, pretty simple race after that. Just manage myself, extending the gap as much as possible, but yet not pushing myself too hard to where I got a penalty. Coming over the line in a P1, hard fought, very, very consistent P1. Definitely a complete turnaround from the first race. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoy, and I will see you in the next video.